differentiate y is equal to x squared using the first principle. So this is a differentiation question, and we are asked to use a particular method, a specific method, which is the first principle. So this is how to use the first principle in solving differentiation question. So the first step is that represent your y with y plus delta y. Delta y here means change in y. So you also represent your x likewise with x plus delta x. So this is the first thing to do. In any first principle question you are given, the first thing you should do is that represent your y component with y plus delta y, then represent the x component with x plus delta y. So after representing this, after doing this, then you put in the value of y for y in our question, and put in x plus delta x for x in our question. So instead of y at the left hand side, we'll be having y plus delta y is equal to, now instead of x, we'll be having x plus delta x, then everything is raised to power 2. Everything is raised to power 2. So what's the next thing to do here? The next thing to do is that we expand this x plus delta x, we expand it. So by expanding it, we have y plus delta y is equal to, so this thing means x plus delta x in two places, because anything raised to power 2 means that thing in two places. So we have x plus delta x. So let us open the two brackets and simplify. By doing that, we have y plus delta y is equal to, so x times x here will give us x squared plus x times delta x will give us x delta x plus delta x times x will also give us x delta x. Then we have delta x times delta x will give us delta x raised to power 2. Delta x raised to power 2. So here we see that these things are the same. X delta x plus x delta x. These two are the same. So we can add them together. So adding them together, we'll be having y plus delta y to be equal to x squared plus, so this one will turn to 2x delta x because we've added the two together. 2x delta x. Then we still have our plus delta x raised to power 2. Yeah. So from here, the next step is that make delta y the subject of the formula. So make delta y the subject of the formula. That means y on the left hand side here will be crossing over to the right hand side, which will now give us, delta y is equal to x squared plus 2x delta x plus, we have delta x squared here minus y. So the y coming from the left hand side here is turning to minus y on the right hand side here. So what's the next thing to do? Now you will notice that in our question they said y is equal to, see our question, y is equal to x squared. Y is equal to x squared. So it means at this stage of our solving, anywhere you see y, replace it with the x squared according to how we have it in the question. Y is x squared. So replace our y with x squared. So replacing y with x squared, this thing will now turn to delta y is equal to x squared plus 2x delta x plus our delta x raised to power 2 minus, so our y is now x squared. So we have x squared. Now looking at this, you see that this x squared, we cancel this minus x squared. So that one will go, that will leave. We'll be left with delta y is equal to 2x delta x plus delta x raised to power 2. Now the next step from here is that divide all through by delta x. Divide all through by delta x. So if you are dividing all through by delta x, it means we have divided by delta x, same here, divided by delta x, same here, divided by delta x. So dividing all through by delta x, we'll be having delta y delta x is equal to, so delta x we cancel delta x here, we'll be left with 2x plus delta x squared over delta x. So this delta x we cancel one of the delta x here, we'll be left with plus delta x plus delta x. So when we have it here, remember when you are differentiating y is equal to x squared, what we are finding is the y dx. what we are finding is dy dx, not delta y delta x. So how do we turn our delta y delta x to dy dx? So let us do our limit. Let's take the limit of this. The limit tending from delta x. So we'll be having limit of delta x. We'll be having limit of delta x as this tends to what? This tends to 0. So it means anywhere you see delta x, turn it to 0. And then this one will change to dy dx. So we'll be having let me do it here. We'll be having dy dx will be equal to 2x plus 0, because delta x is tending to 0, so delta x is automatically 0. Then our dy dx, our dy dx will be equal to 2x. So this is how to differentiate using first principle. Regardless of what the question is, use this method and you will get your answer using the first principle. So kindly solve this using the first principle. Solve y is equal to x raised to power 3 and give your answer in the comment section. Kindly like, share and follow this page for more questions and solutions of mathematics questions. Thank you.